Special Olympics, a non-profit organization, is dedicated to fostering inclusion among individuals with intellectual disabilities and others through sports and various activities, combating exclusion. By engaging in sports, they strive to enhance the mental well-being of those with intellectual disabilities. In a recent interview, we spoke with Edith Mauluka, the National Director of Special Olympics Malawi at Mzuzu CCP Primary School. The focus was on training coaches to effectively support individuals with intellectual disabilities and guide them towards becoming successful athletes.
My name is Enid Mauluka, the National Director for Special Olympics Malawi. The training that is conducted by Special Olympics to teachers and any other coach who could be from a different background focuses on one Special Olympics as an organization, because these volunteers are supposed to know or have information about the organization that they are volunteering for. They also learn more about intellectual disabilities, a component that is not normally included in teachers' training courses. So it is relevant that these coaches have the relevant information about intellectual disabilities so that they know how to address the issues as well as know how to identify people with intellectual disabilities. The teachers play a huge role in that they help in identifying those children with intellectual disabilities within the school setting, because some people don't even know that the children have intellectual disabilities. Some think that they're just troublesome. Some people think that they have mental illness. But through this training that is provided by Special Olympics, the teachers are able to identify these students, and after identifying them, they start engaging them in different sporting activities, something that will also help the athletes, within the school setting. They tend to benefit from all the benefits that comes with sport. So Special Olympics comes in to ensure that the teachers have apart from the relevant skills, they also ensure that they give support, sometimes in terms of sporting equipment or any other support that is necessary at a given time. Special Olympics engages community leaders. We start from a district level where we invite all the district leadership to give more information about intellectual disabilities and how they should be treating people with intellectual disabilities, mostly talking about inclusion. And then we also reach out to the village heads, the chiefs, and then we engage family members. That's how we bring awareness to the communities. Individuals with intellectual disability face discrimination, they face stigma, they face abuse, different forms of abuse. So when Special Olympics comes in, it engages all the relevant people. For example, when it comes to issues to do with abuse, people get raped, people with intellectual disabilities are used, for labor and are not paid. So this is where the law enforcement comes in. So we also make sure that the law enforcement is engaged and is involved in a way that they should be able to stand up for the people with intellectual disabilities. So Special Olympics is in partnership with the Ministry of Education. This makes it easy for Special Olympics to work with schools. And through schools, we have different programs. We have the Unified Sports, we have Unified Champion Schools. These are platforms that are being used to ensure that there is inclusion in schools. And this is also working very well with the strategy that was brought in by the ministry. I think it was in 2017. It's a strategy on inclusive education. This has made Special Olympics work easy because we are able to collaborate with teachers, we are able to collaborate with school heads, and also to interact with other students without intellectual disabilities. So basically, we provide them with skills, teaching them. We start with the theory and then the practicals, and then where possible, we also give them the resources that are required, like training material, mainly sports equipment. That's what we do. Okay, the first thing that we want as a program is to ensure that we reach out to as many people with intellectual disabilities as possible. According to research, 3% of the general population has intellectual disabilities. And as Special Olympics, we've reached out to about 30,000 athletes, and looking at our general Malawi population, I think we have over 600,000 people with intellectual disabilities, meaning that what we have reached out to is just a drop in the ocean. So the first thing is we want to ensure that we reach out to as many people with intellectual disabilities as possible. After that, we actually want to enforce our awareness programs, because much as we are already engaged in awareness programs, there are still a lot of citizens who still don't understand the concept of the concept of inclusion, whereby everyone should include people with intellectual disabilities. And we also want to ensure that there are relevant resources available for people with intellectual disabilities, because there are some people who are still discriminating people with intellectual disabilities. They don't want to play with them. As such, they also can't share their sporting equipment. So we want to make sure that all these things are accessible to people with intellectual disabilities. Our volunteers should also be very well equipped on how to handle people with intellectual disabilities and how to support them so that they also become independent people. As Special Olympics, what we do is we put our efforts in making sure that families understand issues surrounding intellectual disabilities. Most families, they don't really understand it. Intellectual disability is still associated with witchcraft, with curses. There's a lot of confusion about it. So we try to disseminate as much information as possible to educate them, and we also give them a platform where other family members share their experiences, the best practices. They also share the problems that others are facing, and then together address on how they can handle the issues for the benefit of the person with intellectual disabilities. The best that we have been doing is to preach. I'll use the term preach about inclusion, about how a person with intellectual disability is similar to one that doesn't have. We are all human beings at the end of the day. So Special Olympics has been working through, for example, we have the Unified Champion Schools, which is addressing bullying in schools, bullying, stigma, discrimination in schools. So we are also putting efforts to work together with communities to ensure we end stigma and discrimination. So we are in partnership with the Ministry of Sports, being a sports organization, and we work under the affiliation of the Malawi National Council of Sports. And as I mentioned earlier on, that education is our entry point. It also implies that we are in partnership with the Ministry of Education. And for the fact that we are serving people with intellectual disabilities, we work with the ministry responsible for disabilities. We also work with the Ministry of Health, for obvious reasons that most people with intellectual disabilities are vulnerable to different types of diseases. We work with the law enforcement because, like I said earlier on, children and people with intellectual disabilities are vulnerable to abuse, and for that reason we also engage the law enforcement. We don't only engage the law enforcement on ensuring that justice prevails, but we also engage them when we're doing our awareness programs, when we're doing fundraising. That's how we engage the law enforcement. We have other organizations like Malawi Relief Fund UK. They've been assisting Special Olympics, especially with its health programs. Recently, Malawi Relief Fund also helped when we're preparing for the just ended Berlin 2023 World Games. There are also individuals that also come in to assist financially or with materials. We've partnered with other organizations, not on financial terms. For example, Youth Wave organization. We also collaborating with UNESCO and other youth organizations. I must say that all those that I have mentioned earlier on, we ensure that they are updated on everything that we are doing. What we want is to strengthen our relationships or our partnerships with these organizations. And also through this, we should be able to reach out to more partners. And so we try to make sure that all these partners are in light of everything that is taking place at Special Olympics Malawi. Well, the increase in number of students or people with intellectual disabilities that are being recruited especially when we check on an annual basis through data collection. We also see through the activities that are taking place, introduction of new sporting activities, and our coaches also share the information on activities that are taking place within their schools or within their communities. Yes, there's been the community actually has received Special Olympics very well, because it has taken away a lot of misconceptions that were there about people with intellectual disabilities. So people are becoming more aware and are beginning to appreciate, understand people with intellectual disabilities, and they have also started treating people with intellectual disabilities with respect. So there really has been a lot of impact.